Hello and welcome to this video. Today I'm going to unbox the first Puni craft box by Sophie and Toffee. This is supposed to be their squishy making box they newly released, and I decided I'm going to order it and try out the first 3 things of this box, and if I like it I might continue to get it. If not, then I'm obviously just gonna cancel it, but I thought, giving the first 3 boxes a try would be a good idea. And this theme is the Kitty Burger box, and you can see the unboxing experience is pretty much the same as the Oz box. You open it up, you have the tissue paper and the information card, and let's have a look at the items we get. So it seems the first thing we get are the buns with these tiny adorable cat ears, and then we have a baggie of plastic sugar candies, it looks like. Some of these beaded charm things that you can use for putting things on your keychain, and some resealable baggies, I presume for the finished squishies, so we can either squish them in them or prevent them from catching dust. The next mold we have is this toppings mold. So we have what looks like a tomato in round, we have a tomato in another shape, we have a cheese, a burger, salad, and an egg, so you can do different combinations. And then we have this little baggie, some Vaseline, stir sticks, gloves, and these tiny containers to mix the colors in, I presume. The next thing we have here is in this bubble bag, and this seems to be our silicone. They are labeled A and B, but they don't really have any other labelings on them, so I think they just basically had to refill them themselves. And the last thing we got is this little baggie with a lot of colorants. And you saw me kind of stop there, and that was because they were all super slimy. Something really must have spilled there. At first I was worried it was the gel silicone, but it didn't smell like it. It didn't smell like anything. It was just glibbery everywhere. My hands were covered, the bottles were covered, so I decided to clean them up and then continue on. And here you can see the back of the card, all the things we should get, and then they say there's a tutorial on their YouTube, which I decided to watch before I started this. And here you can see all the colors we get. So we have a blue, green, yellow, brown, red, orange, pink, white, and black, and the bottles did want to escape me. So we have a great variety, and some colors like blue, which you wouldn't immediately associate with a burger, but I like that. That means that we can be very creative. I decided to use the gloves they gave us, and I decided to actually leave out the Vaseline. It was just there to help us unmold these, but these molds are pretty thick, so I'm not worried about them warping or about the thing once it cures not actually getting out of there. And then I mixed up a total of 80 grams of this gel, and I immediately ditched the gloves. They smelled super terrible. They smelled super plasticky, when you open up a new bag, and it just smelled terrible, and they felt kind of terrible, and I could feel my hands tingle a little bit, so I just decided I'm just going to throw them away and not use them. But since I already started mixing, I didn't want to get other gloves out, so I was just very careful to not get this on my hands. Also, you could see me add a little bit of yellow coloring. That's just so I could see what I was mixing, and it helped me to see if I had fully mixed the gel. And yellow in this kind of lemonade color would be easy to color over with any other of the pigments. So to start out, I wanted to make the seeds of the tiny tomato slices, the cheese, and the egg yolk. And I mixed basically this orangey yellow color just to make it look like very healthy egg yolk and give the cheese a little bit more color and all that. The color I mixed was a bit potent, so I just added a little more of the gel to help it out. And in the end, I think the color of it turned out quite perfectly. Like resin, these colors shouldn't really change when it hardens. Actually, you shouldn't really see a change at all when it hardens, just that obviously the texture goes from liquid to squishy. So any color you mix, from my experience with these, should stay. Of course, to not waste the part that I already colored, I just added some more of the premix and just added a little bit of brown, a little bit of red, just to make the perfect burger patty color, and then I used that for that. And to not waste again any of the colors, the next thing I decided to do was the buns. Since they would also be brown, I just decided to pour in more of the lemonade into this, just like almost fill the cup to the brim. I was kind of careful to not overfill so I could still mix, but I hoped it would be enough for the burger, which in the end it turned out it was. So again, I'm just mixing in some brown, some red, some yellow, and actually a little bit of white just to tone it down to make it like more like a bread bun kind of color, which I think in the end definitely worked out. It is a bit darker, but you know, you can imagine it's just a toasted bun. Maybe there's a way to make gradients with these. I guess in the end, when you want to put it in a bag or something, you could probably use like pigment powders and like make a gradient or something. I don't think mixing different colors and pouring them on top of each other would be necessarily leading to a good gradient with this stuff. Maybe if you mix it in, so I just didn't try. Maybe in a future one I may try to get some cool effects, but with this one I just wanted to make it a very simple color. I decided to go with the salad next, and I think I figured out what the like slimy stuff was in the baggie there. I think it was like the separated like liquid on top of the green colorant, because when I opened it I got some of that stuff on my hands again. And also when I tried to squeeze out the green, it was not coming out of the bottle, so I just basically screwed it open and there was a lot of colorant in there, but yeah, it wasn't as liquid, so I think that was just the separation. Actually on the like baggie you can see like tiny traces of green, so I think I was right. I wanted to go with the tomatoes next, but I made a mistake because I forgot I still need to do the egg white, so I carefully, after I put in the pigment, tried to scrape it off from the top, and it actually worked quite well. I managed to separate the red pigment before I mixed it in out of the gel to get the rest white. And as you can see, the white is so potent that it completely covers up the like slight yellow I put in before. And I'm actually going in directly over the things I poured. I didn't really let them harden. This gel actually was already hardening a bit. You can see that it pours a little bit thicker than from what I did in the beginning. And I just took a stick so it wouldn't like move the other colors as much, and then just basically poured it on top. And then I spent quite a while to unmold this. I'm just gonna basically skip forward so you guys don't have to sit through this. The stuff was very sticky still. I could have waited a couple days more, but after 2 days I thought, you know, I could finally unmold it, which worked well, but it definitely stuck to my fingers quite a bit more. And here you can see the trimmed up parts. I did have to cut up a little bit of the flashing from where I spilled over, but it wasn't too much and it was super easy to trim up with scissors. You just have to be careful that you're not cutting into something and leaving like a slit or something, because then the stuff might rip. And here you can see all of the things. They're super detailed. I love the like ripples on the salad, the texture on the burger. The cheese with the holes is quite adorable. Definitely makes it look way more fun than if they just had included a rectangle. And of course we have our 2 variations of tomatoes, which are adorable, and lastly our egg. Now this of course means that we can't stack it in whichever way we want. We could make an egg burger or something, but I decided to go with the classic. Also with the leftovers I put it in my guitar pick mold, because that one was already warped. You might remember that from a previous box. It just warped weirdly over time, so I was like, if it's already warped I might as well pour in some of this gel that inherently warps thin molds. And yeah, it didn't really warp it more, but now I have some nice like fidgety desk things that can stick to things and just, you know, fidget with, and I didn't waste any of the gel stuff. But let's actually build our burger. I know that over time it will lose its stickiness, but it should still stick on top of each other, and I'm pretty sure that if you just like wash the grime off a bit after playing when it doesn't stick as much anymore, that it will be a bit more sticky again after a while. But for now, this actually quite helped with adhering them on top of each other and make them stick. I'm sure you could also mix just some more gel and actually glue them together, but I didn't want to do that. I want this burger to be separatable so you can change all the toppings if you want to. So I went with lettuce on the bottom, the bun, then the cheese, which I still think is so adorable. And then I chose the round tomato because I thought it would fit the shape nicely in this case. And honestly, like round tomatoes that fit perfectly on a burger, I think are very nice, because if you have like any other shape of tomato or like smaller tomatoes, they might slip out, but these round ones, they usually fit like quite perfectly. So you have it in every bite, which I quite prefer. And then of course I'm going to top it with the cute little cat ear burger bun. And although I waited 2 days and it was definitely moldable and all that, it was still sticky and it left a little bit of residue on my hands. It didn't really smell like too much, but I could feel like sticky. I think what happens is this might be silicone based, as I thought of previously with how it reacts with the mold. So I think that just that when the reaction occurs, like the oils of that just slowly seep out and it leaves a residue. I had some things that I molded after like a week or 2 of these and they didn't really have that. So I think this stuff just needs way longer to actually fully cure. But I got rid of it easily by just washing my hands with some soap and then, you know, just thoroughly scrubbing them. So it wasn't too much of a problem. It's just something to think of if you maybe want to do this with your children or something, because I don't know exactly what this residue might be, so leave it for like a week or 2 to actually fully cure, just to make sure. And here you can see the end result. Some of the edges are a bit rougher, but I didn't want to cut more so it didn't rip, but I still think it looks super adorable and it was so satisfying to build this. And of course we still have the like really cute egg and the other tomato left, so I could just play around with it, make whichever other burger I want. Like you could even make an animal style burger. You have the lettuce and all that, you can make whatever you want, which I really like about this, that they gave us the topping options. And actually there was like quite a bit of the gel left still, so you can again pour this into other molds or make maybe another burger bun or something to like accompany the others, make like a different variety of burger with different toppings so you can have two. And the baggies will also be very helpful if you want to store them separately or something. I saw that many like squishies nowadays from other companies come actually in sealed bags, so you can squish them through the bag. And I think that would work off with these two if you want to take them on the go and you don't want them to get dirty from the grime outside and all that, or to drop them. And you can still have the satisfaction of feeling the squishiness of the gel. And it's just easy to transport them, and of course also to store them, because they will attract a lot of dust. Even just the egg, especially on the white part, had a lot of like tiny fluffs that were flying around my room, maybe many fabric scraps from when I was sewing earlier. So yeah, it just, I think, makes it way easier to store them. But this stuff is very satisfying to fidget with and play with. And as I said, we got a lot of colors, so you can surely customize it quite a lot. Heck, you can even make blue tomatoes or a blue egg or something. You know, have some fun with it. Which I think is a very strong start for this kit. Definitely very adorable, and we got everything we needed. We got a gel, we got the colorants, we got the stir sticks, we got the containers, although I used the larger one from the previous kit. We even got the Vaseline to like make them shiny and easier coming out of the mold, although I quite like the matte look. And we got all of the molds that you can totally use for resin or clay purposes. I think making like clay burgers like this would be also really adorable. Maybe you can even make a mixed texture one. You know, make some out of clay and then make some squishy of the toppings, like maybe make the burgers out of clay. Either the patty or like maybe even the bun out of clay, so you can squish the like gel stuff in between them, like the toppings. Maybe that would be actually quite a fun sensory fidget, because they have like different sensory textures, and I can imagine with like the patty having this like fun rounded off texture that some people might really like that in clay, and they can feel it and then just have the salad, the cheese and all that squishy. So overall very versatile, and I'm actually super excited to see what they make with the next few kits. This will for a while basically replace the pixie boxes in my videos, since they got cancelled so far. So let's hope they give us a lot of fun little Puni projects. Anyway, let me know in the comments down below what you thought of this kit, and are you actually a fan of squishies? Did you want to get this box? Did you want to see how it was? Or were you not interested at all? And what were your thoughts on the theme and, you know, all the items we got so far? And as always, I hope to see you next week. Bye bye!